What's up, guys? I read chapters 4, 5, and 6 on live earlier, but it saved very terribly to my phone, so I'm just going to read it again, because why not read the Bible twice? Get this stuff to stick. All right, so chapter 4. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain. Cain, saying, I have gone a man with the help of the Lord. And again she bore his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain a worker of the ground. In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. The Lord said to Cain, Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen? If you do well, you will not be accepted. If you do well, will you not be accepted? If you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. So God right there, he's already telling Cain, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, fool. Don't be messing up. Because you could already tell the guy's jealous. He's a hater. He's about to do something stupid. And sure enough, Cain spoke to Abel, his brother, and when they were in the fields, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, Where is Abel, your brother? He said, I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? And the Lord said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it shall no longer yield to you its strength. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. Cain said to the Lord, My punishment is greater than I can bear. You believe that? He just killed his brother. He's like, no, this is too much for me. Yeah, you reap what you sowed, buddy. Behold, you have driven me today away from the ground, and from your face I shall be hidden. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. Then the Lord said to him, No, not so. If anyone kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord put a mark on Cain, lest any who found him should attack him. Then Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch, which he built a city. He called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad fathered Mahuahel, and Mahuahel fathered Methushael, and Methushael fathered Lamech, and Lamech took two wives. The name of the name of the one was Ada, and the name of the other Zillah. Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of those who play in the lyre and the pipe. Zillah also bore Tubal. Cain, he was the forger of instruments of bronze and iron. The sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, Hear my voice. You wives of Lamech, listen to what I say. I have killed a man for wounding me, a young man for striking me. If Cain's revenge is sevenfold, then Lamech's is 77fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Seth, for she said, God has appointed me for another offspring instead of Abel, for Cain killed him. To Seth also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. At the time people began to call upon the name of the Lord. So a lot goes down right there. Cain's a hater. Cain kills Abel. A lot of people ask, why does God ask, like, what did you do? Like, where's your brother? And God is not asking that because he doesn't know. He just likes you to come clean. He wants you to be, he doesn't want you to hide things from him. So that's that big part right there. Just got to explain that. So that's chapter 4. We got chapter 5, chapter 6. All right. Adam's descendants to Noah. Genealogy. This is the book of the generations of Adam. When God created man, he made him in the likeness of God, male and female. He created them and he blessed them and named them man. When they were created, when Adam had lived 130 years, he fathered a son in his own likeness after his image and named him Seth. Then days of Adam after the days after the days of Adam after he fathered Seth were 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he fathered Enosh. Seth lived after he fathered Enosh 807 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he fathered Kenan. And Enosh lived after he fathered Kenan 815 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. When Kenan had lived 70 years, he fathered Mahalalel. Kenan lived after he fathered Mahalalel 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Kenan were 910 years, and he died. When Mahalalel had lived 65 years, he fathered Jared. Finally, a regular name. Jeez. Mahalalel lived after he fathered Jared 830 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. When Jared had lived 162 years, he fathered Enoch. Jared lived after he fathered Enoch 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he fathered Methuselah. Enoch walked with God after he fathered Methuselah 300 years and had other sons and daughters. It's interesting because all the other people die, but Enoch, it just says that he walked with God. So it's like he's the only one to. Some scholars believe they just kind of got swooped up and taken into heaven. The Bible in canon doesn't really get to that point. Just to go right here talking about Bible canon and not Bible canon, you're hearing Enoch. If you know anything about kind of religious books in general, there are a couple books of Enoch. They're not biblical canon though, because as far as what people consider the biblical canon are all these books. When Jesus was walking around, there's basically the Old Testament, what we see it, those books were kind of already in motion, that they existed already, and Jesus studied those as they were. But the book of Enoch doesn't come into play until like long after Jesus's death. So all the books that are in here were accepted by Jesus, or at the very least by someone who walked with Jesus, who like knew Jesus, and that's what gives it that biblical canonness. And that's why our book, the Bible, is a book made up of all those books that kind of have like a stamp of approval. Book of Enoch doesn't have that stamp of approval, but a lot of people did read it. When Enoch had lived 60, oh, you already said that. Thus, all of the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. When Methuselah had lived 187 years, he fathered Lamech. Methuselah lived after he fathered Lamech 782 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus, all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. See, right back to dying. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he fathered a son and called his name Noah, saying, out of the ground that the Lord has cursed, this one shall bring us relief from our work and from the painful toil of our hands. Lamech, however you pronounce it, lived after he fathered Noah 595 years and had other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Lamech were 777 years. Pretty good number. And he died. After Noah was 500 years old, Noah fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, chapter 6. increasing corruption on earth. When man began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born to them, to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Then the Lord said, My spirit shall not abide in man forever, for his flesh, his days shall be 120 years. Very interesting about that. The science did this study, and they found that like 120 years is like that limit that scientifically people can kind of just like live to. After that, their bodies just like really start to cease. So it's very interesting. The Bible has that number one. That's what science is telling us today is like the outmost possible for us. So the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bore children to them. These were the mighty men who we were, the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. So this is interesting because it's saying that like basically what people consider demigods, those like half humans, half god people, and a bunch of other religions across the board, because like the Greeks have it, like Hercules and whatnot, but then a lot of other like Egypt has it. A lot of their pharaohs were demigods. Um, a lot of cultures have these demigods. The Bible saying that demigods were like a thing, but it they wasn't like a god. It was a fallen angel that mated with a human, and then they bore them. And then they were famous, and they were kind of doing some crazy stuff, and they were um, interesting people that were capable of doing some crazy things. But that's because they were half kind of a celestial entity. The Lord saw that the wickedness of the man was great in earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart. So the Lord said, I will blot out man whom I created from the face of the land, man and animals and creeping things and birds of the heavens, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God, and Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight, and the earth was filled with violence, and God saw that the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on earth. And God said to Noah, I have determined to make an end of all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make room in the ark and cover it inside and out with pitch. This is how you're going to make it. Shout out God just telling Noah how to make an ark. And here's how you guys make it too. This is how you make it. The length of the ark is 300 cubits, its breadth 500 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a roof for the ark and finish it to a cubit above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with the lower, second, and third decks. That's all you gotta do. You got an ark. For behold, I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life under heaven. Everything that is on earth shall die, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of the birds according to their kinds, and the animals according to their kinds, and of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind. 2 of every sort shall come into you to keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten, and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. Noah did this. He did all this that God commanded him. So a lot of people are like, so God just killed everybody with the flood? Like, that's mean. So it's like the world that he flooded was a very, very evil place. Like, God, the way I see it, God's an omnipresent, omnipotent being, right? He knows everything. He's all powerful. He understands where we have free choice, right? But he understands when someone's heart is so hardened, or someone is so evil that there's like no going back. And I feel like that's kind of what the world was. It was full of just like people that were impossible to reach. And I mean, people like that kind of still exist today. They you try to talk to them, you try to be nice to them, but their hearts are just so hardened that there's no talking to them. Like they've already made in their mind they're like beyond that point of return where they're just not going to come back. And so like that's what the earth was. And he was just like, man, this place it's ruined. And he's like, I need this factory reset. I need to just get all this away. And he had Noah, who's like the one pure person. He's like, all right, this is gonna be the guy that gets us through everything. He's gonna be that dude that saves us. And so he throws them all on a boat. He wipes everybody out, and then well, I mean that's where we're at right now. We'll see what happens after. But so yeah, so that's chapters 4, 5, and 6. Um, quick 3, easy. Get another 3 tomorrow. God bless.